Why is proofing critical in off-leash obedience training, and how should a trainer systematically proof a dog's behavior? Answer: proofing ensures that a dog performs reliably under various conditions, distractions, and environments. It solidifies the dog's understanding of a command regardless of external stimuli. To systematically proof behavior, start in a low distraction environment. Begin teaching and reinforcing commands where the dog can focus entirely on the trainer. Gradually introduce distractions, and manageable distractions, such as mild noises or the presence of another person at a distance. Increase complexity. Use more challenging distractions like other dogs, food, or toys while maintaining control. Change environments. Practice in different locations like parks, streets, or crowded areas to ensure behavior generalization. Use variable rewards. Reward consistently during early proofing, then switch to intermittent reinforcement to strengthen the behavior further. Implement distance and duration training. Gradually increase the distance between the dog and trainer and the time the dog must sustain the command. Describe the relationship between a dog's age and its cognitive plasticity. How does this impact training strategies? Answer: cognitive plasticity refers to the brain's ability to adapt and learn. In dogs, young dogs, puppies, exhibit high cognitive plasticity, making them more receptive to new tasks and commands. Training during the critical socialization period 3-4 weeks is essential for forming positive associations. Adult dogs, while still adaptable, they may require more repetition and reinforcement compared to puppies. Senior dogs, cognitive plasticity declines with age, and signs of cognitive dysfunction may appear. Training strategies for older dogs should focus on maintaining mental stimulation through simple, engaging activities. Training impact. Understanding these phases helps trainers tailor methods to maximize learning during critical periods and adapt techniques for older dogs to sustain cognitive health. Relevant research. Studies in canine neuropsychology highlight the parallels between dog cognition and human learning stages. Amanda is training a guide dog for visually impaired individuals. During a walk, the dog stops abruptly before crossing a street, despite Amanda giving the forward command. Amanda notices a car approaching that she did not initially see. What principle is the dog demonstrating, and how should Amanda reinforce this behavior in future training sessions? Answer: the dog is demonstrating intelligent disobedience, a critical skill in guide dog training where the dog overrides the handler's command to ensure safety. Reinforcement strategies. Immediate positive reinforcement. Reward the dog with praise or treats for making the correct safety decision. Repetition in controlled environments. Simulate similar scenarios with cars or obstacles to practice intelligent disobedience. Gradual real-world integration. Incorporate this training into real-world walks under supervision. Relevant ruler guideline. Intelligent disobedience is a core competency in service dog training as recognized by Assistance Dogs International (ADI). A dog exhibits a combination of the following body language cues: ears pinned back, tail tucked under its body, low crouched posture and lip licking. What is the likely emotional state of this dog, and how should a trainer approach it to avoid escalating stress? Provide detailed reasoning. Answer: the dog is displaying signs of fear or anxiety. The combination of pinned back ears, a tucked tail, low crouched posture, and lip licking are clear indicators of stress. Reasoning: ears pinned back indicates submission or fear. Tail tucked under, a defensive posture suggesting anxiety or fearfulness. Low crouched posture demonstrates a desire to appear smaller and less threatening, common in fearful dogs. Lip licking, a calming signal used by dogs to indicate stress or discomfort. Guidelines for approach: avoid direct eye contact. Staring at the dog can escalate its stress as dogs perceive this as a threat. Approach indirectly. Use a side-on posture rather than walking directly toward the dog. Use calming signals. Yawning, turning away slightly, and slow movements can help the dog feel more at ease. Allow space. Give the dog the choice to approach on its own terms. Explain how positive reinforcement can be effectively used to teach a dog to sit. Include an analysis of why this method is more effective than punishment-based approaches. Answer: positive reinforcement involves rewarding a dog immediately after it performs a desired behavior to increase the likelihood of repetition. Steps to teach a sit: hold a treat close to the dog's nose and move it upward. As the dog's head follows the treat, its hindquarters will naturally lower into a sitting position. The moment the dog sits, say sit and immediately reward it with the treat and verbal praise like a dog. Why it's effective: builds positive associations. The dog learns that sitting leads to a reward, encouraging repetition, reduces stress. Unlike punishment, which can create fear or avoidance, positive reinforcement fosters trust. Scientifically supported. Operant conditioning research, Skinner, 1938, shows that behaviors followed by rewards are more likely to be repeated. Contrast with punishment. Punishment might suppress unwanted behavior temporarily, but does not teach the correct behavior. It also risks damaging the dog-trainer relationship and increasing fear-based responses. Sarah, a dog trainer, is working with Bella, a 2-year-old Labrador who reacts fearfully to vacuum cleaners. Bella barks, cowers, and attempts to hide whenever the vacuum is turned on. Sarah's goal is to help Bella become more comfortable around vacuums. What steps should Sarah take to apply desensitization and counter-conditioning techniques effectively? Answer: steps for desensitization and counter-conditioning. Desensitization: introduce Bella to the vacuum at a distance where she does not exhibit fear. Gradually decrease the distance over multiple sessions, ensuring Bella remains comfortable. Avoid rushing the process to prevent triggering Bella's fear response. Counter-conditioning: pair the vacuum's presence with high-value treats or toys. Begin with the vacuum turned off, rewarding Bella for calm behavior. Progress to rewarding Bella when the vacuum is turned on but stationary. Eventually reward Bella for remaining calm while the vacuum is moving. Key points: timing is crucial. Rewards must be delivered immediately after desired behavior to strengthen the positive association. Bella's body language should be monitored to ensure she remains below her fear threshold. Explain the role of a marker signal in clicker training and discuss how timing impacts the effectiveness of this method. Answer: a marker signal like a click sound indicates to the dog the exact moment it performs the correct behavior, bridging the gap between the action and the delivery of the reward. Timing: precision is critical. The click must occur immediately as the desired behavior happens. Reasoning: dogs associate the click with the behavior performed at that moment, enabling clear communication. Example: teaching a dog to lie down. Click the instant the dog's elbows touch the ground, followed by a treat. Benefits of clicker training: clear communication. The click acts as a consistent, non-emotional signal, accelerates learning. Dogs quickly associate behaviors with rewards when the timing is accurate. Clicker training exemplifies operant conditioning, where the click becomes a conditioned reinforcer. Dogs are known to have an extraordinary sense of smell compared to humans. How do their olfactory capabilities influence training, and what practical strategies can a trainer use to leverage this skill effectively? Answer: olfactory capabilities. Dogs have approximately 300 million olfactory receptors. Humans have about 5 million. The olfactory bulb in dogs is proportionally 40 times larger than in humans, making them highly adept at scent detection. Influence on training: scent-based rewards. Trainers can use scent-laden treats or toys that dogs find enticing, enhancing motivation. Scent tracking and search tasks. Engage dogs in activities like finding hidden objects or following trails, leveraging their natural instincts. Reducing distractions. Be mindful that competing scents in the environment can distract a dog during training sessions. Practical strategies. Introduce scent-based tasks early to capitalize on natural abilities. Use specific commands for scent-focused activities to avoid confusion with other tasks. Gradually increase the difficulty of scent detection activities, such as hiding the object farther away or in more complex environments. A dog jumps on guests whenever they enter the house. The owner decides to use negative punishment to address this behavior. Describe how negative punishment works in this scenario, including the theoretical basis and potential challenges. Answer: a negative punishment involves removing a desired stimulus to reduce the likelihood of an unwanted behavior. Application to the scenario: when the dog jumps on guests, the owner immediately removes attention by turning away or leaving the room. The dog learns that jumping results in the loss of a desired interaction, discouraging the behavior. A theoretical basis: operant conditioning. Skinner, 1938. Removing a positive consequence reduces the probability of a behavior being repeated. Extinction principle: over time, if jumping consistently fails to gain attention, the behavior will diminish. Potential challenges: consistency. All household members and guests must consistently ignore the dog when it jumps. Extinction burst: the behavior may initially intensify as the dog attempts to regain the removed stimulus. Trainers should warn owners to persist through this phase. James is training Max, a German Shepherd, to retrieve items from a specific box on command. Max struggles to understand the task as a whole. James decides to use shaping and chaining to simplify the learning process. How should James proceed to teach this complex behavior using these methods? Answer: shaping. Break the behavior into smaller steps. Reward successive approximations. First, reward Max for looking at the box. Next, reward him for walking toward the box. Progressively reward actions closer to retrieving an item. Chaining. Backward chaining recommended for this task. Start by teaching the last step. placing the item in the box and work backward. Reinforce each step as Max masters it, linking actions sequentially, picking up the item, carrying the item to the box, placing the item inside. Key considerations: use the consistent marker e.g. a clicker to signal the correct action. Ensure Max is motivated with high-value rewards. Practice each step until master before progressing. Why is it critical to keep a dog below its fear threshold during desensitization exercises? Discuss the consequences of exceeding this threshold and how a trainer can recognize it. Answer: importance of staying below the fear threshold. The fear threshold is the point at which a dog begins to exhibit stress responses to a stimulus. Staying below this threshold ensures that the dog remains receptive to learning and forms positive associations. Consequences of exceeding the threshold: increased fear. The dog may associate the feared stimulus with heightened stress, worsening the reaction. Loss of learning opportunity. When in a reactive state, a dog is unable to process new information effectively. A risk of aggression. Stress responses can escalate to defensive or aggressive behaviors. Signs the dog is approaching its threshold: lip licking, yawning, turning away, freezing. With elevated heart rate or panting, signs the threshold has been exceeded. Barking, lunging, attempting to flee. Guidelines for trainers. Lily, a professional dog trainer, is working with a rescue dog, Daisy, who displays behaviors consistent with predatory drift, e.g., chasing small animals, snapping at moving objects. Lily wonders how Daisy's evolutionary history and natural instincts might contribute to this behavior and how she can manage it effectively. What should Lily consider about Daisy's evolutionary history and how can she address predatory drift using appropriate training strategies? Answer: canine evolutionary history and predatory drift. Dogs are descendants of wolves, with many retaining natural predatory instincts. Predatory drift refers to the tendency of domestic dogs to engage in prey-like behaviors even if they aren't hunting for food, due to these innate instincts. Managing predatory drift, desensitization and counter-conditioning. Gradually expose Daisy to moving objects, rewarding calm behavior and redirecting her attention from the object. Control play. Provide Daisy with appropriate outlets for her natural instincts, such as fetch or tug-of-war. Focus on impulse control. Train behaviors like leave it and to stay to manage Daisy's instinctual responses to moving stimuli. Training considerations. Recognize that reinforcing incompatible behaviors, e.g., fetching instead of chasing, can help Daisy redirect her energy in a positive direction. If a trainer uses positive reinforcement to reduce fear-based behaviors in a dog, e.g., barking at strangers, how can they ensure that the reinforcement is both effective and ethical? Discuss any ethical concerns that might arise and how they can be addressed. Answer: ensuring effectiveness. Reward calm behavior. Reinforce the dog for displaying calmness or non-reactivity towards strangers using treats or praise. Gradual exposure. Use desensitization by slowly introducing the dog to less threatening scenarios involving strangers. Consistency in reinforcement. Reward calm behavior consistently, ensuring the dog clearly understands the expected response. Ethical concerns. Avoiding over-reliance on treats. While treats can be effective, trainers should avoid using them excessively or as a sole motivator. The dog should learn that calm behavior is rewarding in various contexts, not just when treats are visible. Stress or overwhelming the dog. Training should proceed at the dog's pace to avoid causing stress or fear. Ethical treatment. Trainers must ensure that the methods are humane and do not induce fear, pain, or distress. Explain the concept of least intrusive, minimally aversive, LEMA, in dog training. How should a trainer apply this principle when encountering a dog displaying aggressive behavior? Answer: LIMA stands for least intrusive, minimally aversive, a principle emphasizing the use of training methods that prioritize the dog's well-being and rely on positive reinforcement before considering aversive techniques when dealing with aggression. Assessment and contextual understanding. Understand the root cause of aggression, e.g., fear, resource guarding, or territoriality. Positive reinforcement first. Use rewards to reinforce calm, desirable behaviors such as sitting quietly when encountering a trigger. Desensitization and counter-conditioning. Gradually expose the dog to its triggers in a controlled way, pairing the experience with positive stimuli, e.g., treats. Avoid punishment. Aversive methods can exacerbate fear or aggression and violate LIMA guidelines. Relevant rule. The Certification Council for Professional Dog Trainer (ECET) Code of Ethics requires trainers to employ humane training methods that minimize stress and discomfort for animals. What physiological changes occur in a dog under acute stress, and how might these affect training outcomes? Answer: under acute stress, a dog's body undergoes the following physiological changes due to the activation of the sympathetic nervous system, Increased heart rate and respiration prepares the body for fight or flight. Release of cortisol and adrenaline elevates alertness but impairs cognitive functions critical for learning. Muscle tension and restlessness makes the dog less likely to remain calm during training. Digestive suppression reduces interest in food rewards, complicating positive reinforcement. Training implications. Trainers should identify and address stressors, ensuring the training environment is calm and supportive to facilitate learning. What are the key signs that a dog is experiencing stress during a training session, and what immediate steps should a trainer take to mitigate this? Answer: signs of stress. Panting or yawning unrelated to temperature or fatigue, lip licking or drooling, avoidance behaviors such as turning away or trying to escape, dilated pupils, stiff body posture or trembling, excessive vocalizations, whining, barking. Immediate steps: stop the session, allow the dog to decompress, modify the environment, reduce noise, distractions, or proximity to stressors, reassess training goals, ensure they are appropriate for the dog's comfort level, provide positive interactions, use soothing tones, treats, or play to rebuild trust. Discuss how poor nutrition might contribute to behavioral issues in dogs and how a trainer should address concerns about a client's dog's diet. Answer: poor nutrition can significantly impact a dog's behavior. Dogs require a balanced diet with essential nutrients including proteins, fats, carbohydrates, vitamins, and minerals to maintain their physical and mental health. Inadequate nutrition may lead to various behavioral issues. For instance, a lack of essential fatty acids like omega-3 can increase aggression, while low blood sugar levels due to poor diet may lead to hyperactivity or irritability. Additionally, food sensitivities or imbalances, such as insufficient protein intake, can lead to lethargy, making the dog less responsive during training. When addressing concerns about a dog's diet, trainers should first educate the owner about the importance of proper nutrition. A trainer can suggest consulting a veterinarian or canine nutritionist to ensure the dog's diet meets its specific needs. It's essential to understand that poor behavior caused by hunger or an unbalanced diet can often be mistaken for disobedience or a lack of focus during training. Trainers should also monitor any changes in behavior after dietary improvements, such as increased energy or calmer demeanor, which may enhance the training process. Ultimately, the trainer should encourage the owner to provide a high-quality, well-balanced diet tailored to the dog's age, activity level, and health needs. Susan is working with a rescue dog, Max, who cowers, trembles, and refuses to move during leash training sessions. Max shows these behaviors particularly in open spaces. What should Susan do to help Max overcome his fear? Answer: Susan should first create a safe and controlled environment for Max. Since Max shows fear specifically in open spaces, she can begin training in a smaller, familiar areas such as indoors or in a fenced yard. She should work on leash walking in these low-stress environments before gradually introducing him to larger, more open areas. Next, Susan can use positive reinforcement to encourage small, confident steps. By rewarding Max with treats or praise every time he takes a step forward or shows signs of calmness, Susan will help him associate the presence of the leash in open spaces with positive experiences. Desensitization and counter-conditioning are effective strategies here. Susan should gradually expose Max to open spaces at a distance where he remains comfortable. Over time, she can slowly decrease the distance to the trigger wide-open spaces while continuing to pair the experience with treats and praise. This helps Max associate the environment with something enjoyable, reducing fear. Lastly, Susan must be patient and observe Max's body language closely to ensure she does not overwhelm him. If Max begins showing signs of severe anxiety, it's best to backtrack and work at a more comfortable level until he regains confidence. What safety measures should a trainer implement when working with a reactive dog during a public training session? Answer: when working with a reactive dog in a public training session, the trainer must prioritize safety for both the dog and the people around them. First, the trainer should use proper equipment, such as a secure leash harness or head halter, to prevent the dog from escaping or lunging at distractions. A sturdy, non-slip leash is essential for maintaining control, especially when dealing with a reactive dog that may exhibit unpredictable behavior. Choosing a controlled training environment is crucial. The trainer should ensure that the location is free from unnecessary distractions or potential triggers, such as other dogs, loud noises, or unfamiliar people. If the public space is unavoidable, the trainer can use visual barriers or set up a training bubble to give the dog some space and reduce external stressors. During the session, the trainer should also be aware of the dog's body language, recognizing signs of heightened arousal or anxiety. If the dog becomes overly reactive or overwhelmed, the trainer should immediately stop the session and provide the dog with time to calm down in A safe, quiet space. Lastly, having an emergency plan in place is crucial, such as carrying a brake stick or using safety sprays if necessary to prevent escalation. Describe the steps involved in performing CPR on a dog. Answer: performing CPR on a dog is an essential skill in emergencies, especially when a dog's breathing or heartbeat has stopped. The process involves three key steps: checking for pulse and breathing, performing chest compressions, and providing rescue breaths. Check for breathing and pulse. Ensure the dog is unresponsive. Check for breathing by watching for chest movement and listening for airflow. To check the pulse, feel for the femoral artery on the inside of the hind leg. Chest compressions. For large dogs, position the dog on its right side. Place your hands over the widest part of the chest and press down firmly, aiming for 100-120 compressions per minute. For smaller dogs, compress the chest over the heart. In smaller dogs, use one hand to apply gentle pressure. Rescue breaths. Seal the dog's mouth shut and breathe into its nose until the chest rises. Deliver one breath every 6 seconds, ensuring air enters the lungs. Continue this process of alternating 30 compressions and 2 breaths in the ratio of 30:2 until the dog regains breathing or you reach veterinary help. How can a trainer build trust with a fearful dog that has a history of neglect? Answer: building trust with a fearful dog that has a history of neglect requires patience, consistency, and positive reinforcement. First, the trainer should create a calm and predictable environment for the dog. Fearful dogs often respond well to routine and controlled surroundings as they begin to feel more secure. The trainer should avoid overwhelming the dog with new experiences. Instead, start with small steps that encourage the dog to trust the trainer. Using food rewards, praise, and toys for calm, positive behavior helps create positive associations with the trainer's presence. For example, when the dog shows interest or interacts with the trainer, they should immediately reward the dog. Body language is crucial when building trust. Trainers should approach the dog slowly, avoiding direct eye contact, which can be perceived as threatening. Low, calm vocal tones and slow movements will reassure the dog. Another essential aspect is allowing the dog to approach on its own terms. Forcing interaction can heighten fear. Over time, the trainer can gradually introduce new experiences or environments, always pairing them with positive reinforcement to ensure the dog learns to associate unfamiliar situations with safety. What precautions should a trainer take to minimize the risk of physical injury to both the dog and handler during high-energy training sessions? Answer: to minimize the risk of injury during high-energy training sessions, both the dog and trainer must be properly prepared. For the dog, the trainer should ensure that it has been adequately warmed up before engaging in strenuous activities. This can include gentle leash walking or basic commands to loosen muscles and prepare the dog for more demanding exercises. The training surface is equally important. The trainer should avoid slippery or uneven ground, which can cause the dog to lose traction and result in injury. Non-slip mats or rubber flooring are ideal for indoor sessions, while trainers should assess the outdoor environment for potential hazards like sharp objects or hard surfaces. Monitoring the dog's fatigue level is essential to prevent overexertion. The trainer should observe for signs of exhaustion, such as heavy panting or reluctance to participate, and allow the dog regular rest breaks. Similarly, handlers should pace themselves and ensure they are not straining physically during training exercises. Using proper posture and ergonomic techniques, such as bending the knees instead of overreaching, reduces the risk of personal injury. How might a handler's emotions affect a dog's behavior during a training session? Provide strategies for emotional regulation. Answer: a handler's emotional state has a significant impact on a dog's behavior during training. Dogs are highly sensitive to human emotions and body language, often mirroring their handler's feelings. For instance, if a handler is anxious or frustrated, the dog may become anxious or disengaged. Conversely, if the handler is calm and confident, the dog is more likely to stay focused and relaxed. Stress or frustration from the handler can lead to erratic or inconsistent training techniques, which confuse the dog and hinder progress. Additionally, dogs may pick up on tension and respond with defensive behaviors such as growling or avoidance. To regulate emotions, handlers should practice self-awareness and recognize when they are becoming upset or stressed. Deep breathing exercises can help calm the handler before and during sessions. Taking brief breaks during training allows both the handler and dog to reset if emotions begin to escalate. It's also helpful for handlers to focus on positive reinforcement, staying calm and patient even when the dog struggles. By maintaining a composed demeanor, the handler reinforces a positive, stable training environment, fostering better behavior in the dog. In training a dog for scent detection, explain the role of associative learning and how. A trainer can use this principle to teach a dog to detect explosives. Answer: associative learning involves linking a specific stimulus with a consequence or reward. In scent detection, introduce the target odor, present the explosive scent paired with a high-value reward such as a treat or toy to create a positive association. Mark and reinforce correct responses. Use a clicker or verbal marker immediately when the dog identifies the scent, followed by a reward. Increase difficulty. Gradually hide the scent in more challenging locations, ensuring the dog consistently receives reinforcement for correct identification. Add distractions. Prove the dog's ability by introducing competing scents and ensuring the target scent remains the focus. Relevant research. Behavioral theories of classical and operant conditioning support associative learning as the foundation of scent training. What are the ethical considerations and legal implications of training a protection dog for personal security? Answer: ethical considerations include ensuring the dog is trained to respond proportionally and under control, avoiding harm to innocent individuals. Legal implications vary by jurisdiction but often involve restrictions on breeds classified as dangerous, liability for the handler if the dog causes injury, requirements for certifications to demonstrate responsible training, trainer responsibility, educate clients on the legal framework and emphasize ongoing training to maintain the dog's controlled behavior. Relevant law. Many jurisdictions follow the Dangerous Dogs Act (UK) or similar statutes in the US, which outline owner responsibilities for protection dogs. Compare and contrast spatial problem solving and social learning in dogs. Provide examples of how each can be assessed during training. Answer: spatial problem solving in dogs refers to the ability to navigate physical environments, often relying on memory, orientation, and physical cues. For instance, teaching a dog to find a hidden toy by bypassing obstacles demonstrates spatial problem solving. Trainers assess this by creating mazes or placing objects in the dog's path, encouraging them to figure out how to reach the target. Social learning, on the other hand, occurs when dogs learn by observing others, either humans or other dogs. An example of social learning is a dog watching another dog perform a task like opening a door or completing a trick and later imitating that behavior. This can be assessed by introducing a demonstration task where a dog mimics the actions of another animal. Both types of learning are important, but spatial problem solving tends to require more independent thinking, while social learning capitalizes on external cues and relationships. Trainers can foster spatial problem solving by using puzzle toys and obstacles, and encourage social learning by involving other dogs or humans in training scenarios. Both require consistency and positive reinforcement to be effective. What behavioral traits are most important in therapy dogs, and how can a trainer ensure these traits are well developed? Answer: therapy dogs must possess calmness, sociability, and emotional resilience. Calmness ensures that the dog does not become overwhelmed in various environments or during interactions with patients. Sociability is essential, as the dog must be able to interact positively with people of all ages and backgrounds. Emotional resilience is needed to withstand prolonged exposure to potentially stressful situations without becoming agitated. To develop these traits, trainers should expose the dog to a variety of people, environments, and situations from a young age. Socialization with different types of individuals, children, elderly, people with disabilities, and animals, is crucial for building comfort and confidence. Trainers should also use desensitization techniques to reduce any fear responses to common stimuli such as wheelchairs, crutches, or medical equipment. Additionally, positive reinforcement and consistency are key to ensuring that the dog learns appropriate responses. Therapy dogs should also undergo temperament testing to assess their suitability for the role, with ongoing assessments throughout their careers. By reinforcing calm behavior in various settings and promoting positive social interactions, trainers can ensure that therapy dogs are well prepared for their work. In trick training, why is shaping more effective than luring for complex behaviors? Answer: shaping is generally more effective than luring for complex behaviors because it encourages the dog to actively participate in the learning process and fosters problem-solving skills. Shaping involves reinforcing successive approximations of the target behavior, allowing the dog to figure out how to gradually meet the trainer's expectations. For example, when teaching a dog to roll over, a trainer might start by rewarding any movement toward the side, then gradually only rewarding further progress until the dog completes the full rollover. In contrast, luring involves guiding the dog's movements with a treat or toy, which can limit the dog's independence and ability to generalize the behavior in different contexts. Luring is effective for teaching basic behaviors, but can create dependency, as the dog often relies on the presence of the lure to perform the action. Shaping allows for more gradual learning, strengthening the dog's cognitive cognitive abilities and helping it adapt to complex tasks. It is particularly valuable for behaviors that require precise or intricate movements, such as learning to weave through poles in agility training. Shaping also fosters a stronger bond between trainer and dog as the dog actively participates in the training process. What are early signs of cognitive dysfunction in senior dogs, and how can trainers address these issues to improve quality of life? Answer: early signs of cognitive dysfunction in senior dogs include disorientation, confusion, changes in sleep patterns, and a decline in learned behaviors. Dogs may seem lost in familiar environments, have difficulty finding their food or water bowls, or become more anxious during changes in routine. They may also exhibit restlessness at night and appear less responsive to commands they previously knew well. Trainers can address cognitive dysfunction by providing mental stimulation through puzzle toys, scent work, and obedience exercises. Training sessions should remain short and positive, as senior dogs may tire easily. Incorporating routines and familiar environments can help reduce confusion and anxiety. Physical exercise is also beneficial in maintaining cognitive function, as it increases blood flow to the brain and helps manage weight, which can further support overall health. Additionally, trainers should encourage owners to consult with veterinarians to explore potential therapies, including supplements or medication that can support cognitive health. By adapting training to the dog's age and cognitive abilities, trainers can improve the dog's quality of life, promote mental engagement, and reduce the effects of cognitive dysfunction. Diego, a border collie, becomes distracted during an agility trial and misses several obstacles. His handler, Sophia, notices the distractions stem from excessive noise near the course. What adjustments should Sophia make in training to prepare Diego for similar environments? Answer: to help Diego focus despite external distractions, Sophia should gradually expose him to noisy and chaotic environments during training sessions. This exposure should start in a controlled setting where distractions can be slowly introduced, such as playing loud music or having other dogs nearby, allowing Diego to become accustomed to these stimuli. Sophia should also incorporate focus-building exercises, such as training Diego to focus on a toy or command when distractions are present. Using a highly motivating reward system, including praise, treats, or toys, will help reinforce his attention during these distractions. Sophia can simulate trial-like conditions during practice, including various types of distractions and increased noise levels. She should vary the level of noise and introduce distractions in different ways to prepare Diego for the unpredictability of an agility competition. Finally, rewarding Diego for maintaining focus and completing tasks under these conditions will help him associate distractions with positive outcomes. Through consistent practice, Diego will learn to concentrate on his handler and the course even in noisy environments.